Let's talk. Giles Brown.
And it's the time of the show when we're going to speak to Myra Azzopardi from the Citizens Advice Bureau Spain. Good morning to you, Myra.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you surviving the summer thus far?
I'm actually in a colder climate at the moment.
Of course you are.
So I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm looking at the temperatures and I'm not really, whereas others would be going, oh God, wish I was there. I'm just glad I'm not at the moment.
Exactly. A lot of people feel that they could swap with you, couldn't they?
Yes, nice to escape and plus it's been very hay this year, hasn't it?
Yes, indeed.
They've been relentless, the temperatures.
Yes.
But
We struggle on now. Today we're talking about something that maybe a lot of people aren't aware of. If I would say to you, it's not exactly free money, but it's financial assistance, even if you haven't worked in Spain. This sounds too good to be true to my cynical mind, Myra. Tell me a little more about it.
Okay, this is probably because Spain is not usually, a lot of our listeners will be from the UK or other northern European countries where they have a social security system and that if they're not working or they don't have sufficient funds to live on, they can apply. Well, this came in, now I have to say it, with a socialist government, whether we like them or not. I think it was 21-22. And in Spanish, it's known as ingreso mínimo vital, which basically means minimum vital income. Now, because it's quite complicated to try and get this over on the radio, I think everybody who is interested could know that we have the information on our website. You would Google, am I entitled to minimum vital?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
We're also telling a lot of people who can't be listening at the moment, they're asking, and I've given them the details of the show and how they can listen live up for to a week. Yeah? Or listen after
exactly
to the show. So trying to let them know, because it's a lot to keep up with.
Right, okay.
So we'll start with what it is. It's really, like you said, it is very good because it's a minimum living allowance and is a non-contributory benefit.
Okay.
Provided by Social Security, really to guarantee a minimum income. This is for individuals and family in financial difficulty. And the IMF, this is what it's known as in Spanish, Ingreso Mínimo Vital, aims to reduce poverty and social exclusion by really ensuring a basic level of income for those who meet eligibility.
Yeah. The criteria. The criteria, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Checking up on, so I think I'm Spanish. And right, so the requirements.
Yeah.
It's age and residency.
Okay.
So look how simple this is. Applicants must have been legally residing in Spain continuously for at least 1 year.
Right.
1 year only.
Yeah.
Not like a non-contributory pension. And, of course, the 1 year limit is not required for minors, like if they've been incorporated into family by adoption or been born, or family reunification, foster care.
Yeah.
Of course, again, it always includes...
We have Myra Azzopardi back on the line. Sorry about that, Myra. I didn't mean to cut you off in your prime. We were talking about a minimum of 1 year residency to qualify for the IMF, the minimum vital.
Yes, and of course there's an exception to those who've a family unit who have recently had a child or adopted or family reunification, that sort of thing. There are women of gender-based violence, I'm sure men as well, domestic violence, and victims of human trafficking and sexual exploitation. So, like we're saying, the ages between 23 and 65, it is really worth trying. We'll talk about a simulator, even if you're not those ages, because it depends on your circumstances. Of course, there's means testers, so there have to be income limits. So your income must be below a single person, say €604.21 per month.
So the minimum length is the minimum is 600 and
4.
Yeah. Euros a
Say
month.
604. Now, I can give you a few for a family member in a minute.
Okay.
That is for an individual person. It increases then for family members, additional.
Okay.
There are also assets limits you must meet to qualify. That's probably to do with whatever your savings, etc.
Yeah.
This is ensuring that the benefit reaches those in genuine need. If you're working age, you must be registered or as a job seeker.
Okay.
Unless exempt. Right, I'm not going to go in because of time. There's so much eligibility. Again, I can't get that word out for some reason today.
If you meet the criteria, we'll say yes.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So there are exceptions. And there are criteria to meet. It's obvious if you're 23 and an individual, you shouldn't be living with anybody else.
Yeah.
And you have to prove all this with your documentation.
Okay.
Then there's other exceptions for persons between the ages of 18 and 22.
I've got a quick question about this, Myra, from one of the listeners. Okay, if you get Myra back, I have a question about this. I've recently been awarded an incapacity pension. I can still work, but not in the job I used to do. Does this classify as income for the IMV? Thank you from one of the listeners.
Okay, I was going to come to that, but it depends. If you have an incapacity pension that's non-contributory, then you're not entitled. Neither those with a non-contributory pension or incapacidad pension. So if you've got your pension because you've been working, then yes, you can make your application. It's only for it's not compatible. It's compatible with lots of other incomes, earnings, if you don't reach that amount, but not compatible if your pension or your invalidity pension is non-contributory.
Okay, so that would in Helen's case, that would say it wasn't fair. Okay, thank you for that. Right, as you were, Myra. So where were we?
Okay, so then we go to obviously families and the amount they have. I think is the minimum is 738, but I'll give you some figures in a minute. So it's also for family, their children as well, and it's not. Right, let me go on to, because I think people will find out if they go through the application process. There's a simulator which has changed over in this year, so it's not obvious, but I'll explain how you click on it.
Okay.
So you can apply online to the Social Security's electronic office or via mail, sorry.
Yeah.
And, of course, the process involves, as always, providing personal identification, proof of residency, income and family situation documentation. So there's more detailed guidance. And we last night, I think, or early mornings, I added quite a bit in English.
Right.
On the Vital Minimum, which would help. So I think it's really important to go through to the website. If you can't find it, you'll find it on our website. And then you can hit what they call the minimum vital income calculator.
Okay.
Now, that is no longer obvious. People are looking for a calculator or simulator, and it's not obvious. So when you hit the link, what you do is you go to, in Spanish, it'll then turn to Spanish, inicia solicitud, like you're starting to make the application. That is a simulator.
Okay.
Okay, it might sound complicated, but I think I've explained it on our post, and I'll be adding more information after I come off the radio. So to find out if you're entitled, you just have to you go to Mínimo Ingreso, Mínimo Vital, and you'll see Inicia Solicitud. What you get in English, once you go over to the next page, will all be in Spanish. So by hitting Inicia Solicitud, which means you're starting your petition or your application, you will be asked various questions. You'll get a time limit in which to answer these, but don't be put off. You can always start again. It's quite a long time. So you'll answer questions on this simulator, and you'll answer yes, no, whatever. And then it'll carry on until you get to the end, and it should give you an idea if you're entitled. And if you get the benefit, it'll be paid monthly, and it's by bank transfer, and it should go in the day after your application. Well, actually, with the entitlement to minimum living allowance will arise from the first day of the month following the presentation date of the application. I know a lot of people are having to wait.
Yeah.
But they should get their money back. I think if I ignore, because I always worry about time and I start rushing, don't I? Your minimum.
Yeah.
You've got it? All right. If you've got minimum as a single person, 604.21 cents. 2 people, 785.48. 3 people, this is monthly, 966. These are the limits that you can apply, and it goes on and on. I think more important is what you could be entitled to.
Right.
Okay? One adult, they're entitled, now it's putting here at 604. It's gone up, actually. It's more than 604 a month. And one adult and one child, 785. 2 children, 967. I think it's gone up this year. 1 adult and 3 children, 1,148. So you can see it's nothing to be scoffed at. So if you're earning or you've got an income of only 604 or less than 604, then your money can be made up.
Yeah.
Rather complicated. It's not easy. It's not easy for me. Easy for me to understand, not easy for me to put over.
Okay.
The important thing is that there is a benefit available for those in need. They may have to wait. Why these things can take up to 6 months, I don't know. When you're in need, you're in need. But unfortunately, the other thing you must always, if you get this benefit, I've known someone who said they've lost it because they didn't update. You have to keep them. If your circumstances change, you must let them know.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But again, the website will give you various options where you can click on besides the simulator so that you can check the status of your application, or you can change, or you can upload more documentation if needed.
Yeah, can I ask you a really can I ask you a really stupid question here, Myra, because it's my specialty. Presumably, this is a bank transfer, or maybe not, because I'm thinking if you are on minimum, you might have had problems with being embargoed by a bank or something. How do they actually? Do you know how you actually receive the funds?
Yes, you receive the funds into your bank. It's the only way. Okay. Not transferable. It must go into your bank. Right. Now, if anybody's had an embargo or has an embargo, that's another story. They should understand, and that though they will, that no entities can embargo your full amount.
Right.
You have to be left with a minimum income, and that will be the minimum. That'll be each year. That'll be the minimum wage. Mm-hmm. So they can't just go, and they do. No, Hacienda does. Yeah. Can I say that word?
You can say that word. You can say it's okay as long as I turn around 3 times and make the sign of the cross. We're fine, Myra.
Okay. And the town hall with the other entity that can embargo you. If you've got court embargoes, that's another story. But the usual embargoes, people just accept it. They see all their money has gone out of the bank. Yeah. They can't. But what? Now I'm going off, but we've got time, haven't we? They should
we've got time. We've got 9 minutes, yeah.
Okay. If they're embargoed, what they should do is go to the bank and ask them for details of the embargo. A lot of people don't know where it's come from.
Yeah, you can delete and cancel or what the embargo?
No, you can't do it that way. You must go to your bank and find out first of all where it comes from.
Right.
Now, most cases, and it seems amazing, most people that have ever approached me on this, the majority will say to me, the bank doesn't know. The bank doesn't know. So the bank have actually sent you money or retained, because actually what happens immediately, your money doesn't go out your account, it's under retentions. A lot of people need to know that they've got that part in their bank account where it says retention, retentions. It'll have it in English, and it'll be there. It'll be retained for 10 or 20 days, usually 20 days. So you have time to recall this. But to do that, first of all, you need to know who's embargoed me.
Right.
Go to your bank directly and say, we don't know, but you must insist. Of course they know.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
They can't be told to retain your money by an entity and not know who's asked them to retain that money. And if they don't know, it's rather crazy, isn't it?
Well, exactly. That's good to know. Okay.
But I'll tell you, Giles, just about everybody posts on our group, contacts me privately. The bank says they don't know.
Yeah. Well,
that's not possible. So what you do then, you have to find out the entity. Then you have to prepare to go and see them and to say, look, this is what I'm earning annually. And you have to show that. You may have to take your renter, which is your tax declarations from the year before, and anything else they asked for.
Okay.
Right? And they will then not retain the amount that's above the amount that they are legally allowed to retain.
Right.
There's a problem here.
Okay.
You would think that's done, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's always a but. We always say, what's the but?
Yeah, there's always a but, yeah.
So you've done that. There's always a but. You'll have to do this every time. They could then the following month do the same thing again and again. It could be to do with the where you pay your rates. The oficina de recaudación, the collecting office, where you pay, where your rates are paid, or anything there. So you'd have to go back religiously and to go through the same process again. They'll call it back, but you have to do it on a monthly. It's not just that. Don't think if you do it once that your money's safe there.
Okay.
Now, of course, it is very difficult because a lot of people, are paying their rent, they're paying or whatever, or their mortgages or whatever, and all of a sudden they don't realize they owe money somewhere because notification hasn't come through. I think a lot of people now need to know that often notification of a debt does not arrive to you for some unknown reason. If you've changed address, one would understand that. Okay?
Yep, no problem.
So but we went on from that question. So again, no, we didn't we? That chap knows. We know it's that. Please remember this minimal payment is compatible with a lot of other benefits, but not anything that's non-contributory benefit. It really is worth checking out. And like I say, you'll go to our website, you'll see am I entitled, just search. If you find the search engine difficult on CAB, which it still is, you can actually put it in Google and say, Minimo Vital, Citizens Advice Spain. It'll come up then. Why not through our website? I still don't know. I've given up on chasing that. So I think it's really important. Again, children, I should say this, attached to this is child income benefit. Can be 80 euros, can be 100 plus euros. That can be applied for whether you're entitled to this benefit or not. So they give you options on how to apply. So I think it's really important because a lot of people, with this getting child benefit, this is monthly as well. They can get this amount for each child now. So it's getting a little bit like the Social Security that people know back in their country. Not quite, because you don't get your rent, you don't get everything paid for. You just get an increase in your income. Well worth checking. Okay. Again, over 65, you may meet the requirements for other reasons. Again, just need to go to the post and use a simulator. And don't be put off because no longer does it say simulator. It will say inicio. Just to start the application.
Okay.
I don't think of anything else I've missed out here. Yeah.
I think
we've got the requirements, family unit.
So so we've basically done. So if just to recap, then. So it's called the minimum vital. What is the first place then people should go if they want information on that? Of course, anything else to do with the trials and tribulations of life in Spain.
Okay, well, they can come to us, but also just to let people that are finding it very difficult to apply for the minimum vital income, they can make an appointment with social services at their town hall who should assist them with the application.
Okay, so you can get help with going through this because they're not going to leave you on your own. Because obviously, if you are applying for this, you're perhaps you need a little bit of help with cutting. And it's yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So remember, social services are there for all sorts of things, including assisting you with like your non-contributory pension, your invalidity pension, your blue badge parking, because a lot of people are having problems.
Yeah. Myra, I'm going to have to cut you short. I'm going to run out of time. If people, where should people go first? Citizens Advice. Just Google Citizens Advice Bureau Spain. Yeah. Yeah,
Citizens Advice Spain. And they'll get the website.
As always, take care. I shall speak to you in a couple of weeks' time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll speak to you, Myra Azzopardi. Thank you so much for your time today.
Welcome. Bye for now.